Hey guys, welcome back to Legends Never Die, where neither will you if you know Jesus. We've been a little busy lately because Oaklee had kidney surgery, but we are thankful and blessed that it went well. He is recovering, and in early May, he'll get the stent out of his kidney, and he should be healthy going forward. But I've been absent from YouTube for a little bit, taking care of what's most important, which is my two boys and my wife. But we're all doing good. Hope you guys are doing great out there. We're going to take a look at some cards. We'll see if Oaklee hangs around. He may or may not. Say bye-bye. All right, so there weren't a lot of pickups in March, I'll be honest. This video is mostly going to be the last component, which is going to be me talking a little bit about what I intend to pick up next, or what I'm thinking about picking up next. But real quickly, from March of 2025, we've got a 57 Topps team card of the Boston Red Sox. Just chipping away. 43 different sets I'm working on. These last three cards are unique. If you haven't seen them on my channel before, I've done an entire video series on them. I actually want to do another one as an update, but these are guaranteed registration cards. I'll show you one on screen. From the Hall of Fame postcard Perez Steele Hall of Fame postcard series, and this is what the Hall of Famers would have had to fill out themselves in order to get the same serial numbered set, just like any other person. So like this is set number 113 for this series, and it's Waite Hoyts. There are versions of this where these guys signed them, where they printed their names on them, where they used, some used like a typewriter, where they may partially been done at like Perez Steele Gallery's office. Pretty cool stuff. But there's a Waite Hoyt. These are all essentially one of ones, because there only would have been one for each Hall of Famer per series if they decided to do it. There's also, these are out there for like the Great Moment series. So like this is Yogi Berra's for the 5th and 6th series of Great Moments. Yogi was also known that he loved the Perez Steele postcards. He would actually get them signed by other Hall of Famers himself for his own collection. So pretty cool to have one of Yogi Berra's. Then finally here, sorry for the glare there on that Yogi. Jeez, let's move that a little. That's terrible. Finally, this one, what makes it pretty cool, it's not a big name if it was just like a regular Hall of Fame autograph, but because of what it is and the timing of when it would have been signed, does matter for Perez Steele collectors. And that is the Lloyd Wainer. Now, Paul was the better player, his Hall of Fame brother, and the more valuable autograph in general. But by the time these came out, Paul was no longer living. Lloyd was, but for a very short window early on in the first couple years there of when these existed. So I believe there's only 2 of these that Lloyd could have possibly signed before he passed away. So it makes it pretty cool. On-card autographed Perez Steeles of Lloyd Wainer go for big money. So here's the next best thing, and this is essentially a 1 of 1. So those are my pickups for the month of March. If you want to hang around and listen to me talk about some collecting thoughts, that'll be next. If not, you can stop watching the rest of this video. I'll be right back. So here at the end, I want to talk a little bit about just some collecting philosophy, kind of what I'm thinking right now, what I'm doing with my collection. Just kind of some random thoughts. Thought it'd be fun to do. So, if you follow my channel and you watch my stuff, you know I collect autographs, autographed baseballs, rookie cards, and bobbleheads of every major milestone club member. That's 500 homers, 3,000 hits, 300 wins, 600 stolen bases, perfect game pitchers, along with every baseball Hall of Famer, along with all the World Series Braves teams, along with anybody I deem historically significant. I say that last one, you think, who's historically significant that falls outside of the prior lists? Well, like a Johnny Vandermeer, for example, that threw 2 consecutive no-hitters, or Fernando Valenzuela with Fernando Mania, guys like that. Anyways, I also do vintage sets. I have like half a dozen I've completed, but I'm actively working on 43 different vintage sets. That includes mostly baseball, but a couple basketball sets. They range from 1909 for the T206 set up to 1979. And basically all the Tops, all the Bowmans, all the Redmans, all the play balls, all the Gaudies in between there. And then with basketball, still working on 70, 71 Tall Boys and 61 Fleer. And some random ones along the way, like the Johnston Cookies sets with the Braves. I like those. The double headers in 1955 Tops and 62 Post because they're featured in the Sandlot. I collect Sandlot stuff. I collect, autographs of UNC basketball players. I'm in single digits now of having an autograph in Carolina uniform for everybody that's possible. That's how many I have left. I'd like to get back to getting a few Basketball Hall of Fame autographs again. I just can't justify putting them in front of the baseball guys for my collection, but I've added a few here and there. But what's kind of like in this window for my collection, I'm not going to get into the drawer and what that is and so on and so forth, but if you know about it, I'm trying to shrink that down, get some things that are already in my possession officially into my collection. But something I like to do in general, I can't do it always or I just buy everything that I want, but I like to target what I call set killers, which would be items in sets or projects that if I got them, they would pretty much mean that I will complete it someday over time. These are typically the items that are rarer or more valuable at the top end of what's within reach for me and my budget. And one of those cards that's on my radar right now, I'm not going to share what it is, but it would be the most I've ever spent on a card for my collection. More than I spent on my Babe Ruth autograph, more than I spent on my T206 green background Ty Cobb. This would be significant. And I'm having to pull a lot of collection strings and means that I have to try and make this happen. But it's something like out of literally everything on my want list, and it's 20-something thousand items. Out of everything on my want list, I think this is the one item that if I don't get it relatively soon, that it'll get out of my reach and I won't ever be able to afford it, even with pulling all kinds of strings and flipping and selling and whatever to get there. I don't know if it'd be possible. So I know a lot of you guys that may be watching this, you kind of collect by, what catches your eye, what you like, kind of what you feel like is next. You target something. You can be really specific. I think my want list of 20-something thousand items, it may sound daunting to some people, but I see this as a lifetime project. It's a hobby that helps me keep my mind off, the things that worry you. Like I shared about my son having surgery, and I know we gave that to the Lord, and I wasn't really worried. I knew he was in his hands, but collecting is a nice distraction from that, something else to think about. I'm not a very negative or worrisome person, but I know that the hobby can be a nice escape for a lot of people. And so my approach is it's long term. I intend to do it. I hope to share it with my son someday for a long time. So I have such a big want list because I have a long-term plan, a long-term goal. I can get really into bobbleheads for a little bit, or I can buy Hall of Fame autographs for a little bit, or buy vintage stuff, or whatever is the next best deal, while trying to keep that long-term goal and long-term completion in mind. And that's why what I'm talking about as a set killer, a project killer, why I tend to try and go after those every so often, because the more of those I get, the more likely I am to complete my lifetime hobby goal of what I want to do. So I don't think a lot of collectors think about it that way, like from a long-term perspective of like, Well, if I want all of these things in my hobby life, not in, just the next month or 6 months or even this year, I don't think a lot of guys think of it past that, but I do. Um, I want my collection to be, it tells a story of the history of the game. And for me, in my opinion, I can't do that without the vintage sets that I'm building, without the Hall of Fame autographs, without the baseballs, the bobbleheads, the stuff representing the legends and the great stories of the game. So really, what I want to point out about this is that I think it's okay, and I would actually encourage it, to have long-term perspective for your collection and what you want it to look like and what's its purpose. And it's okay if it's, I just want to have fun with it. Just do whatever, go with the flow, and that's okay. But I think there's a deeper meaning behind that other than just buying things on a whim and having no plan at all. It's okay to have structure. Dom. I hope you guys enjoyed listening to me ramble a little bit, and hopefully I'll be able to share one of those set killers that I'm chasing right now that I hope that I can get, and why it is so meaningful and impactful for my long-term hobby goal that I want to achieve. But until next time, guys, keep collecting, and God bless. Oaklee, tell him, say, now you do it, Luca. Go. Luca, you do it. Say. Oaklee's doing it. He's going.